The champagne glass in my hand was shaking, not from nerves, from rage. My boss was standing 10 feet away, laughing, that high-pitched cackle that made my skin crawl every single day at work. But this time, she wasn't laughing at a failed presentation or someone's typo in an email. She was laughing at my husband. I mean, honestly, Tasha, Sharon's voice carried across the ballroom. I knew you married down, but thrift store suits? Really? Before I tell you what happened next, and trust me, you're going to want to hear this, I need to know, where are you watching from right now? Drop your city in the comments. Are you at home? On your lunch break? Lying in bed scrolling? Because what I'm about to tell you happened in Chicago at the Maxwell Industries annual gala, the fanciest corporate party I'd ever attended, and it was about to become the most satisfying night of my entire life. Let me back up. 6 months earlier, I'd met Liam at a community center. I was volunteering, teaching financial literacy to classes to folks trying to get back on their feet. He was there learning, sitting in the back row, taking notes on everything I said. He wore the same jacket every week, jeans that had seen better days, boots that were clean but clearly old, and he had the kindest eyes I'd ever seen. After the third class, he waited until everyone else left. Miss Washington, his voice was soft, I wanted to say thank you. What you're teaching, it's changing my life. We started talking. Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into long walks by the lake. 3 months later, he proposed with his grandmother's ring. I don't have much, he said, kneeling in Grant Park with tears in his eyes. But everything I have, everything I am, I want to share with you. I said yes before he finished the sentence. My family loved him. My friends adored him. He was genuine, thoughtful, always helping neighbors, always making me laugh. But Sharon took one look at him at our small courthouse wedding and made her opinion crystal clear. You know, she cornered me in the break room the Monday after. You could have done so much better. A woman with your education, your position, you settled, Tasha. I ignored her. I was used to Sharon's comments. She'd been my supervisor for 3 years. Everything was a competition to her. Who had the bigger house, the newer car, the more expensive vacation. She'd married Gregory, a hedge fund manager, and never let anyone forget it. But I loved Liam. What did her opinion matter? Fast forward to tonight. The Maxwell Industries Gala was mandatory for all senior staff. Bring your spouse, the invitation said. Black tie preferred. I'd bought a dress I couldn't really afford. Navy blue, elegant, made me feel beautiful. Liam wore his one good suit. He'd had it dry cleaned, bought a new tie. You look stunning, he whispered as we walked into the grand ballroom of the Langham Hotel. So do you, I squeezed his hand. That's when Sharon spotted us. She was wearing a dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Diamonds at her throat, hair professionally styled. She made a beeline straight for us. Tasha, you made it. Air kisses near my cheeks. Then her eyes slid to Liam. And this must be the husband I've heard so much about. The way she said husband made it sound like a disease. Liam, this is Sharon, my supervisor. Sharon, my husband, Liam. He extended his hand. Pleasure to meet you. She looked at his hand like it was contaminated, gave it the briefest possible shake. Charming, she said in a tone that meant the opposite. That's quite a vintage suit you're wearing. Thank you, Liam said easily. It belonged to my grandfather. How sentimental. Sharon's smile didn't reach her eyes. Well, enjoy the evening. The buffet is complimentary, so definitely take advantage. She walked away, already pulling out her phone. She seems nice, Liam said dryly. I couldn't even fake a smile. I'm sorry, she's... Don't apologize, he squeezed my hand. I've dealt with people like her before. For the next hour, we tried to enjoy ourselves. The food was incredible. The music was beautiful. Liam even got me to dance despite his protest that he had 2 left feet. We were laughing, swaying to the music, when I heard it. Sharon's voice, louder than necessary. I mean, honestly, Tasha, I knew you married down, but thrift store suits? Really? The music seemed to fade. People nearby stopped talking. She was standing with a group of executives, Gregory at his side, all of them looking our direction. Sharon, I started. No, it's fine, she was smiling. I think it's admirable, actually, taking in a charity case. Very Mother Teresa of you. My face was burning. Around us, people were staring. Liam's hand tightened on mine. We should go, I whispered. Not yet. His voice was calm. Too calm. He turned toward Sharon, walked straight up to her. My heart was pounding. What was he doing? Sharon's smile widened as Liam approached, like a shark that smelt blood. Oh, did I offend you? She placed a hand on her chest in mock concern. I'm so sorry. I'm sure that suit is very meaningful to you. The executives around her tittered. Gregory smirked into his champagne. Liam stopped 3 feet from her. He didn't look angry, didn't look hurt. He looked amused. You know what's interesting about this suit? He said conversationally. Sharon raised an eyebrow. Do tell. My grandfather wore it the day he founded his company, 1952. He was 23 years old, fresh back from Korea, with $200 in his pocket. How inspiring, Sharon said flatly. He built that company from nothing, worked 18-hour days, treated every employee like family, and by the time he retired in 1989, it was worth $20 million. Something flickered in Sharon's expression. Uncertainty. Good for him, she said carefully. When he died 3 years ago, he left the company to my father, who grew it to just over $300 million. The room had gone very quiet. I was holding my breath. What was happening? And 6 months ago, Liam continued, when my father decided he wanted to retire early and travel with my mother, he transferred ownership to me. Sharon's face was no longer amused. What company? She asked. Hayes Industrial Holdings. Her champagne glass slipped from her fingers. It shattered on the marble floor. Nobody moved. Hayes? She breathed. Yes. Liam's voice was still polite, still calm. We own 14 manufacturing facilities across 7 states, including, as of last month, Maxwell Industries. I felt like the floor had tilted. Maxwell Industries? The company I worked for? The company hosting this gala? My husband owned it? That's impossible, Sharon stammered. Is it? Liam pulled out his phone, made a call. Hi, Tom. It's Liam Hayes. Yes, I'm at the Maxwell Gala right now. Could you come down to the ballroom? There's something I need to handle. He hung up, looked at Sharon. My CFO will be here in about 2 minutes. Would you like to continue mocking my suit, or should we discuss your employment status? Sharon's face had gone from red to white to a sickly gray. I didn't know. How was I supposed to? You weren't supposed to know. That was the point. He turned to me, his expression softened. Tasha, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you so many times, but you needed to know if you loved me for you, I finished. The pieces were clicking into place. The community center, the financial literacy classes. He hadn't been there to learn. He'd been there to teach himself humility, to remember where his grandfather started. And he'd met me. I fell in love with you the first day, when you told that room full of struggling people that their worth wasn't measured by their bank accounts, that everyone deserved dignity and respect. Tears were burning my eyes. And I wanted so badly to tell you who I was, but every time I tried, I thought about all the people who suddenly became my best friend when they found out about the money, all the relationships that changed, all the authenticity that disappeared. So you let me think you were poor. I let you see who I really am, without the money, just me. A man in an expensive suit was crossing the ballroom towards us, tall, gray-haired, carrying a tablet. Mr. Hayes, he nodded to Liam, then saw Sharon and stopped. Mrs. Patterson, you're still here? Tom, Liam said. This is Sharon Patterson. I believe she's employed as a senior supervisor in the marketing department. Was, Tom said, tapping on his tablet. Her termination was processed 3 hours ago. Sharon's mouth fell open. What? You can't. We can, actually, Tom said calmly. When we acquired Maxwell Industries last month, we conducted a thorough review of all personnel. Your record includes 14 documented instances of workplace harassment, 6 formal complaints that were mysteriously buried, and a pattern of discriminatory behavior toward lower-income employees. That's not true. I never. We have emails, Mrs. Patterson, voice recordings from HR meetings, testimony from 7 different employees who were too afraid to speak up while you had power over their careers. Sharon looked at me, then at Liam, then back at Tom. This is because I insulted him. One comment at a party? No, Liam said quietly. This is because you've been bullying people for years. Tonight just made it personal. You can't do this. Sharon's voice was rising. Gregory, say something. Her husband was staring at his shoes. Security will escort you out. Your personal belongings will be mailed to your home address. You have 5 minutes to leave the premises. 2 security guards materialized from the crowd. Sharon looked around wildly, at the executives who'd been laughing with her minutes ago, at the crowd of colleagues who were now watching her downfall, at me. You knew this whole time and you let me. I didn't know, I said honestly, but I knew my husband was a good man. That was enough. The security guards each took an arm. Sharon was escorted toward the exit. The ballroom was completely silent. Then someone started clapping. The applause started slow. One person, then another. Then the entire ballroom erupted. I was standing there frozen while 200 people cheered and clapped. For what? For my husband humiliating my boss? No. I realized, looking at their faces, what they were celebrating. Justice. How many of them had Sharon bullied? How many had she belittled, mocked, made feel small? A woman I vaguely recognized from accounting had tears streaming down her face, clapping so hard her hands had to hurt. A young man from IT was grinning ear to ear. Even some of the executives were nodding approvingly. The music resumed. Conversations restarted. The party continued. But I couldn't move. Liam was watching me with concern. Tasha, say something, please. You own my company. I own the parent company that acquired your company, yes. For how long? We finalized the purchase 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks. We'd been married for 4 months. Did you buy Maxwell Industries because of me? No, he took my hands. We'd been in negotiations for 8 months before we even met, but when I found out you worked there, I may have expedited the process. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was terrified, his voice cracked. Terrified that you'd look at me differently, that you'd wonder if everything between us was real, that you'd think I was some rich guy playing dress-up in thrift stores. That's exactly what you were doing. No, he shook his head firmly. Those clothes? They're what I wear when I'm not in board meetings. They're comfortable. They're real. They remind me where my grandfather came from. But the community center. I volunteer there every year, have since college. My grandfather made me promise to never forget what it's like to struggle, to build something from nothing. The financial literacy program was his idea originally. I pulled my hands back. I need air. Liam, please, just give me a minute. I walked toward the terrace doors, out into the cool April night. The Chicago skyline glittered before me. Lake Michigan stretched dark and endless. I pressed my palms against the stone railing. My husband was a billionaire. My husband owned the company where I'd worked for 3 years. My husband had been lying to me for 6 months. Except, had he? I replayed every conversation we'd ever had. He'd never said he was poor. I'd just assumed. He'd never asked me for money, never complained about finances. He'd just lived simply, kindly, authentically. The terrace door opened behind me. "I thought you might want this." Liam held out my wrap. I took it. "Thank you." We stood in silence. Finally, I asked the question burning in my chest. Why me? What? Why me, Liam? You're a billionaire. You could have anyone. Why marry a mid-level marketing coordinator who drives a 10-year-old Honda and lives in a one-bedroom apartment in Lakeview? He moved closer. "Can I tell you about the first thing you ever said to me?" I waited. It was week 3 of the financial literacy class. Someone asked you how to deal with feeling ashamed about being poor, about being judged. I remembered. A woman in her 50s, recently laid off, on the verge of tears. You said, "Your bank balance is not your worth. Your job title is not your identity. You are valuable because you exist, because you're trying, because you show up. Anyone who judges you for your circumstances isn't worth your time." I remembered. I thought about that every single day. His voice was rough. Every board meeting where people kissed up to me because of my last name. Every charity event where people only saw dollar signs. Every woman who suddenly found me attractive when she found out who my father was. He turned me to face him. And then I met you. You looked at me, the guy in the worn jacket and old boots, and you saw someone worth knowing. You laughed at my terrible jokes. You let me buy you coffee, even though I could tell you wanted to pay. You introduced me to your family without apologizing for where I came from. Tears were sliding down my cheeks. You loved me when you thought I had nothing. How could I not love you back with everything I have? You should have told me. I know, and I'm sorry. I was going to, actually, tonight. Tonight? He pulled a folded paper from his jacket. "I was going to wait until we got home, give you this." I unfolded it. It was a deed to a house in Lincoln Park, in my name. "Liam, I bought it 3 weeks ago. I wanted to surprise you, wanted to tell you everything and show you our future at the same time. The house I'd walked past 100 times, the one with the garden and the brick facade and the bay windows, the one I pointed at once and said, 'Someday that's the kind of place I'd love to call home.' You've remembered. I remember everything you've ever told me. I looked at the deed, at my husband, at the life I thought I knew shattering and reforming into something unrecognizable. 'I need time,' I whispered. His face fell. 'How much time?' 'To process this, all of this. Can you give me that?' 'As much as you need.' We stood there, 2 feet apart, a lifetime of secrets between us. Inside, the party continued. But out here, everything had changed. We went home separately that night. I told Liam I needed space. He understood. Told me to take the car, that he'd get a ride. I drove through Chicago in a daze. Every street looked different. The same city I'd lived in for 5 years, suddenly unfamiliar. When I pulled up to my apartment building, our apartment building, I sat in the car for 20 minutes. My phone buzzed. "Liam, I'm at my place. Text me when you're ready to talk. I love you." His place. He had another place? Of course he did. I climbed the stairs to our one-bedroom apartment, the place we'd moved into together 2 months ago, the place where we'd painted the walls ourselves, shopped for furniture at IKEA, argued about whether we needed a coffee table. All of it a lie? No, not a lie, just incomplete truth. I changed into pajamas, made tea I didn't drink, sat on the couch we'd assembled together. My phone rang. Mom. Hey, baby, how was the fancy party? I started crying. Tasha, what happened? Did someone hurt you? Liam is rich, Mama. Silence. What? Rich, like owns companies rich, like billionaire rich. You're Liam? The sweet boy who helps me fix my porch railing? That's the thing. I wiped my eyes. He is that sweet boy. He really did fix your porch railing. He really does volunteer at the community center. He just also happens to own a $300 million company. Lord have mercy. He didn't tell me for 6 months. We got married and he didn't tell me. Did he lie when you asked? I thought about it. I never asked. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? It means, Mama said carefully, that assuming and lying are two different things. Whose side are you on? Yours, baby. Always yours. But I'm also on the side of truth. Did this boy ever act like he was better than you? Did he ever make you feel less than? No. Did he treat you poorly? Disrespect you? Use you? No. Did he love you? My throat closed up. Yes. Then the question isn't whether he lied. The question is whether you can forgive him for waiting to tell you the whole truth. I pulled a blanket over my legs. I feel stupid, Mama. Everyone at work is going to know. They're going to think I married him for money. Let them think what they want. You know the truth. He knows the truth. That's what matters. It's not that simple. Isn't it? She paused. Baby, I've watched you with that man. I've seen how he looks at you, how gentle he is, how he lights up when you walk in a room. That's not fake. Money can't buy that kind of love. But he should have trusted me. Maybe. Or maybe he was protecting something precious. You ever think about how hard it must be, never knowing if people like you for you or for your bank account? I hadn't. Not really. Talk to him, Tasha. Don't let pride ruin something real. After we hung up, I sat in the quiet. The apartment felt empty without him. I picked up my phone. Tasha, can you come over? Liam, on my way. 15 minutes later, there was a knock. I opened the door. He looked terrible. Tie loosened, jacket gone, eyes red. Have you been crying? I asked. Have you? We stood there, both of us wrecked. Come in, I said. We sat on opposite ends of the couch. I don't know where to start, he said. Start with the truth, all of it. He took a breath. My full name is Liam Jonathan Hayes. I'm the CEO of Hayes Industrial Holdings. We're worth approximately $320 million. We employ over 2,000 people across 14 facilities. It sounded surreal hearing it laid out like that. I have a penthouse in the Gold Coast, a house in Wisconsin, and as of 3 weeks ago, a house in Lincoln Park that I bought for us. 3 homes. 4, technically. My parents have a place in Florida I visit sometimes. I processed this. Go on. I drive a 2019 Honda Civic when I'm not at work events. I shop at Goodwill. I volunteer every Saturday at the community center. I donate 60% of my salary to various charities, most of them focused on helping people get back on their feet financially. Why? Because my grandfather made me a promise. Before he died, he sat me down and said, Liam, money changes people. Don't let it change you. Stay close to the ground. Remember where we came from. Live like you have nothing to prove." His voice cracked. "I've watched wealth destroy people. I've seen friends become strangers when they found out who I was. I've had women propose on the second date. I've had guys trying to be my friend just to get business connections. So you decided to pretend to be poor." "No, I decided to live the way my grandfather did. Simple, honest, connected to real people dealing with real problems." He turned to face me fully. "And then I met you. And for the first time in my life, someone looked at me and didn't see dollar signs. You saw me, just me. Do you have any idea how rare that is?" But I deserved to know. "You did. You absolutely did. And I was going to tell you. Tonight was supposed to be the night. I had this whole plan. Take you to the new house, show you around, explain everything, answer all your questions." And then Sharon happened. And then Sharon happened. Though I have to say, that was pretty satisfying. Despite everything, I felt my lips twitch. "Don't make me laugh right now. I'm trying to be mad at you." "Are you? Mad at me?" I considered. I don't know what I am. Talked until 3 in the morning. Liam told me everything. About growing up with wealth but being taught humility. About his grandfather's company starting in a garage. About watching his father expand the business while staying grounded. About the pressure of carrying the family legacy, the expectations, the loneliness of never knowing who was genuine. "I went to business school at Northwestern," he said. "Everyone knew who I was. Everyone wanted something. Study groups only invited me because they thought I'd help them get jobs. Women asked me out because they'd Googled my net worth. That sounds awful." It was. So after graduation, I took a year off, moved to Seattle, got a studio apartment, worked at a bookstore under my middle name just to feel normal. Did it work? For a while. I made real friends, dated someone who didn't know about the money. It was the best year of my life. What happened? My dad had a health scare, heart attack. I flew home immediately, and suddenly I was back in the world of board meetings and expectations and people treating me differently. He looked at me. "Until I met you." I pulled my knees to my chest. "I'm not special, Liam." "Yes, you are. You're exactly who you appear to be. No pretense, no games. When you said you loved me, I believed you. I've never believed anyone before." "Because you were lying about who you were." "I wasn't lying about who I was. I was just withholding some details about what I owned." "That's a pretty big detail." "I know." He moved closer. "And I'm sorry. I should have told you before we got married. I was just so afraid." "Of what? That I'd leave you because you're rich? Most people would consider that a bonus." "No, afraid that you'd look at me differently, that I'd lose the way you see me, as someone who's just Liam, the guy who makes bad coffee and can't dance and laughs at his own jokes." "You are terrible at coffee." "The worst," he agreed. We sat in silence. "So now what?" I asked finally. "That's up to you." "Is it? Because from where I'm sitting, everything's changed. My job, my apartment, my entire understanding of our life together. Nothing has to change." "Liam, I'm serious. You want to keep working at Maxwell? Keep working. You want to stay in this apartment? We'll stay. You want to pretend tonight never happened and go back to exactly how things were? I'll do it." "You can't just pretend you don't own the company I work for." "Actually, I can. Tom handles all the day-to-day operations. I only step in for major decisions. Your work is your work. I won't interfere." "People will know." "Some people, the executives, But most employees have no idea who owns the parent company. We could keep it quiet. I shook my head. That's not how this works. Sharon's firing is going to be all over the office Monday morning. People will ask questions, they'll figure it out. So then let them. So what? So what? I stood up. So everyone will think I'm some gold digger who married the boss. They'll think every promotion I've gotten was because of you. You've gotten 2 promotions in 3 years, both before we even met. They won't care about facts. Then find a new job. I stared at him. What? Find a new job. You're brilliant at what you do. You could work anywhere. If staying at Maxwell is going to make you miserable, leave. I can't just leave. I have bills, responsibilities, which I can help with. I don't want your money. The words hung in the air. Liam's face fell. I'm not trying to control you with money, Tasha. I'm trying to give you options. Options I didn't ask for. I built my life by myself. I'm proud of what I've accomplished. And you should be, but being married means we're a team now. What's mine is yours. I didn't marry you for what's yours. I know that. That's exactly why I want to share it with you, because you're the only person who doesn't want it. We were both breathing hard. I walked to the window, looked out at the street below. I need to ask you something, I said quietly. Anything. If I said I wanted things to stay exactly as they were, this apartment, my job, our life together, would you resent me for it? For not wanting the houses and the money and the lifestyle? Never. Would you eventually? Would you get tired of pretending? He came to stand beside me. I'm not pretending, Tasha. This is who I am. The penthouse and the company, those are just things I own. They're not who I am. Who I am is the guy who fell in love with you in a community center basement, who wants to wake up next to you every morning, no matter where we live or what we drive or how we spend our weekends. I turned to face him. I love you. I want you to know that. I do know that. But I'm scared. Of what? That this is too big, that I can't be what you need, that I'm going to mess this up. He cupped my face in his hands. You could never mess this up. We're in this together. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. Even if I decide to sleep on it and not make any big decisions tonight? Especially then. I leaned into him. He wrapped his arms around me. We stood like that for a long time. When I finally pulled back, I said, I think I need to take Monday off. From work? From everything. I need space to process all of this. Okay. And I want you to stay at your place just for a few days. His arms tightened. If that's what you need, it is. Then that's what we'll do. Monday morning, I called in sick. I spent the day in my apartment thinking. My phone buzzed constantly, coworkers texting, friends calling. Everyone wanted to know what happened at the gala. I ignored them all, except for one text from Liam. How are you doing? Still thinking. Take all the time you need. I'm here when you're ready. Tuesday, I ventured out, got coffee, walked along the lakefront. Tried to imagine my life as the wife of a CEO. Country club memberships, charity galas, people knowing my name not because of my work, but because of who I married. It made my skin crawl. But then I thought about the alternative, going back to exactly how things were, pretending nothing had changed. That felt dishonest too. Wednesday, Mama called. You ready to talk yet? I don't know what to do. Then let me ask you something different. What do you want? I thought about it, really thought. I want my life to mean something. I want to work hard and earn what I have. I want people to respect me for what I do, not who I married. Okay, so do that. How? Everyone at work knows now. Then don't go back to that work. Find something new, something that's yours. I've been at Maxwell for 3 years, Mama. I've worked hard. And you'll work hard somewhere else. Baby, this isn't about running away. It's about running towards something better. After we hung up, I opened my laptop, started researching. By Thursday, I had a plan. I texted Liam. Can we meet for coffee? Named the time and place. We met at a small cafe in Andersonville, the kind of place we used to go on Saturday mornings. He looked nervous. I probably looked the same. Hi, I said. Hi. He stood, like we were strangers. You look good. You look tired. Haven't been sleeping great. We ordered coffee, sat by the window. I've made some decisions, I said. His jaw tightened. Okay. I'm quitting Maxwell. Surprise flickered across his face. You don't have to. I want to. You were right. Staying there would be miserable. Everyone would question every success, every project. It's not worth it. What will you do instead? I'm going to start a consulting firm, help small businesses with their marketing strategies, work with nonprofits, build something that's completely mine. He leaned back. That's amazing. I'll need startup capital. I'm going to apply for a small business loan. Tasha, I know what you're going to say, and the answer is no. I need to do this myself. I was going to say that I'm proud of you. Oh, really? Really? You're taking control, building something new. That takes courage. I wrapped my hands around my coffee mug. I'm still mad at you for not telling me sooner. I know. It's going to take some time for me to fully trust you again. I understand. But I love you, and I don't want to lose you. His grip tightened. You won't, I promise. No more secrets? No more secrets. We sat there, holding hands, rebuilding what had cracked. So where does that leave us? He asked. Together, figuring it out as we go. I can live with that. 3 months later, everything was different. And nothing was different. I'd quit Maxwell, given my 2 weeks' notice, left on good terms. Started Washington Consulting out of my living room. My first client was a small bakery in Pilsen. My second was a nonprofit helping homeless youth. The work was hard. The hours were long. The pay was uncertain. I loved every second. Liam and I were rebuilding. We had dinner together every night, talked about our days, laughed again. He told me stories about board meetings. I told him about difficult clients. Slowly, brick by brick, we were constructing something stronger than before. One evening in July, he knocked on my door. I brought takeout, he said. Thai from that place you like. You're the best. We ate on the couch, watched a terrible reality show, argued about who was going to win. Normal, beautiful, ours. I need to tell you something, Liam said during a commercial break. My stomach dropped. What? Nothing bad, I promise. He set down his plate. I've been thinking about what you said, about wanting to build something that's yours, something meaningful. Okay. What if we could do that together? Liam, hear me out. He pulled out his phone, showed me a proposal. Hayes Industrial Holdings has a charitable foundation. We donate millions every year, but it's not organized. It's just throwing money at problems. I read the document. You want to restructure it? You want me to run it. I looked up sharply. What? You're brilliant at this, at understanding what people need, at building programs that actually help. What if you took over the foundation, made it into something transformative? I can't run a multi-million-dollar foundation. I just started my own business 3 months ago. You could do both, or hire someone to run the consulting firm, or transition it into the foundation's small business development program. My mind was spinning. This is too big. It's exactly big enough. Think about it. You could help hundreds of small businesses, fund financial literacy programs across the state, create opportunities for people who are exactly where you were when we met. Where I was, working hard, trying to build something, deserving of a chance. I read through the proposal again. It was comprehensive, well thought out, exciting. Why now? I asked. Because I've been watching you for 3 months, building your business from scratch, working 16-hour days, making it happen through sheer determination. And I realized something. What? You don't need my money. You don't need my help. You're going to succeed no matter what. Then why offer this? Because imagine what you could do with resources, real resources, not to prove anything, not to build something from nothing, but to actually change lives on a scale that matters. I set the proposal down. I need to think about it. Take all the time you need. A week later, I said yes, with conditions. I would run the foundation as an independent entity with its own board, its own staff, its own mission. Liam would have no say in day-to-day operations. I would earn a salary at market rate. No nepotism, no special treatment. He agreed to everything. When can you start? He asked. Give me 2 months. I need to transition my clients, set up my consulting firm to run independently. Done. By September, I was the executive director of the Hayes Foundation for Economic Empowerment. My first hire was someone I knew well. You want me to do what? The woman stared at me across the cafe table. Be my director of programs, Iris. You're perfect for it. Iris had been my financial literacy class at the community center. Single mother of 2, working 3 jobs. Brilliant. Tasha, I'm a waitress. I don't have a college degree. You have something better. You've lived the problems we're trying to solve. You know what people need. I can't. The salary is $80,000 a year, full benefits, 4 weeks vacation. Her mouth fell open. You're serious? Completely. You start Monday. She started crying. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. That was the first life we changed. There would be many more. A year after the Maxwell Industries Gala, after Sharon's public humiliation, after the revelations, after everything, we hosted our first Hayes Foundation fundraiser. It was smaller than the Maxwell event, only 100 guests, but every single person there was someone who mattered. Small business owners we'd helped, students who'd received scholarships, families who'd gotten back on their feet, and some special guests. I can't believe you invited her, Liam whispered as we greeted people at the door. I had to. Sharon walked in wearing a simple dress. No diamonds, no designer bag. She looked different, smaller somehow, but not broken. Tasha, she stopped in front of me. Thank you for the invitation. I wasn't sure if I should come. I'm glad you did. We hadn't spoken since that night. I'd heard through the grapevine that she'd been unemployed for months, that Gregory had left her, that she'd lost almost everything. I owe you an apology, Sharon said quietly, for everything. The way I treated you, the way I treated so many people. I was cruel, and I'm sorry. I appreciate that. I've been in therapy, working on a lot of things, understanding why I felt the need to put others down to feel better about myself. Liam squeezed my hand. I'm glad you're getting help, I said genuinely. I saw the foundation's work online. What you're doing is amazing, helping people instead of judging them. It's what I should have been doing all along. It's not too late to start. She looked surprised. What do you mean? We're looking for volunteers, people who understand what it's like to fall, to have to rebuild, if you're interested. You'd want me after everything? Everyone deserves a second chance, Sharon, including you. She wiped her eyes. I'd like that, very much. After she walked away, Liam pulled me close. You're incredible, you know that. I'm just trying to be the person you thought I was when we met. You are that person. You've always been that person. The event was beautiful. We shared stories of the people we'd helped, announced new programs, raised over $2 million. But the best moment came near the end. Iris took the microphone. A year ago, I was working 3 jobs and barely making ends meet. I had 2 kids, no degree, and no hope that anything would ever change. The room was silent. Then Tasha Washington walked into my life, not to judge me, not to pity me, but to see me, to believe in me, to give me a chance. She looked directly at me. I'm now the director of programs at this foundation. I'm helping other people who are exactly where I was. And I'm here to tell you, this organization doesn't just write checks, it changes lives. The applause was deafening. I was crying. Liam was crying. Half the room was crying. After the event, as we were packing up, a young woman approached me. Mrs. Hayes, please call me Tasha. I wanted to thank you. Your foundation gave my sister a grant to start her catering business. She's thriving now, supporting her family. It's like a miracle. It's not a miracle. It's what happens when people get the support they deserve. Still, thank you. You're changing our community. After she left, I stood in the empty ballroom, the same hotel where my world had fallen apart a year ago. Now it was where I was building something beautiful. Ready to go home? Liam asked. Almost. I just want to remember this. Remember what? That something good came from something painful, that we can take our worst moments and transform them into our greatest strengths. He wrapped his arms around me from behind. I love you, Tasha Washington Hayes. I love you too. We decided to hyphenate our names, a compromise, a symbol of partnership. We drove home to the Lincoln Park house. We'd moved in 6 months after I was ready. It was beautiful, but it was also filled with furniture we'd chosen together, art from local galleries, a garden I was attempting to grow. It was ours, not his, not mine, ours. 2 years after the gala incident, the foundation had grown beyond anything I'd imagined. We'd helped over 500 small businesses, provided scholarships to 200 students, built financial literacy programs in 30 community centers across Illinois, and we were just getting started. I was in my office, a real office now, in a building we'd purchased in Bronzeville, when Iris knocked. You have a visitor. I don't have any appointments scheduled. I know, but I think you'll want to see this person. Sharon walked in. She looked different again, confident, put together, but not in the artificial way she used to be. Hi, she said nervously. Sharon, this is a surprise. I've been volunteering for 6 months now, working with the job training program. I know, Iris tells me you're doing amazing work. I wanted to talk to you about something. She sat down. I want to do more. What do you mean? I've been thinking about my experience, about how I treated people when I had power, about what it took to lose everything before I could see clearly. Okay, what if there was a program for that, for executives and managers who need to learn humility, who need to understand what their employees face, who need to be better leaders? I leaned forward. Go on. We could call it the Leadership Empathy Program, require senior staff at companies to spend time doing entry-level work to actually experience what their lowest paid employees deal with every day. That's brilliant. Really? Really? We could partner with companies, make it part of their corporate culture training, show them how empathy increases productivity and employee satisfaction. Sharon's eyes lit up. I could develop the curriculum based on my experience, what I learned the hard way. Let's do it. We spent the next hour brainstorming. By the time she left, we had the outline of a completely new program. After she was gone, Liam called. How's your day going? I think Sharon just became our next program director. Really? She's changed, Liam. Really changed. And she has insights that could help a lot of people. I trust your judgment. If you think she's ready, then she's ready. That was the thing about our relationship now. We trusted each other completely. We'd built that trust brick by brick over 2 years by keeping our promises, by being honest, by showing up for each other every single day. We still kept some finances separate. I still ran my consulting business on the side. I still paid my portion of the household expenses, not because I had to, because I wanted to, because my independence mattered to me. And Liam understood that. He never tried to change me, never suggested I should let him handle it. He just supported me, celebrated my wins, held me through my losses. That night, over dinner at home, I told him about the new program. "I'm proud of you," he said, "not just for the work you're doing, but for giving Sharon a real second chance. Everyone deserves that. Not everyone would be that generous. I'm not being generous, I'm being strategic. She has skills we need, experience we can use. Why waste that because of past mistakes?" He smiled. "See, this is why you're better at this than I am. I would have held a grudge." "No, you wouldn't. You're the one who taught me that people's bank accounts don't define their worth. Well, people's past mistakes don't define their future either. When did you get so wise?" "I married well." We laughed. The doorbell rang. Liam got up to answer it. I heard voices, then footsteps. My parents walked into the dining room. "Surprise," Mama said. "What are you doing here?" "Liam invited you. Said you had some news to share?" I looked at my husband. "What news?" He was grinning. "Want to tell them or should I?" "Tell us what?" Dad asked. I had no idea what he was talking about. Then Liam pulled a folder from the sideboard. Last week, the Hayes Foundation received its largest donation ever, $20 million from an anonymous donor. My jaw dropped. What? With instructions that 10 million go to expanding our programs across the Midwest and 10 million go to founding a new initiative. He handed me the folder. I opened it. The Tasha Washington Hayes Scholarship Fund for first-generation college students from low-income backgrounds. Full ride scholarships, 20 students per year. I couldn't breathe. "Liam." "It wasn't me. I mean, I facilitated it, but the donation came from someone else." "Who?" "Your grandfather's estate, your dad's father." I looked at my dad. He was crying. "He always said he wanted to help people get the education he never had," Dad said quietly. "When Liam reached out and told me what you were building, I knew this was it. This was what Pop would have wanted." "How did you—" "We never had—" "There was more than you knew," Dad said. "He was careful with money, lived simply, saved everything. When he passed, there was nearly 15 million in investments. Your mother and I have been trying to figure out what to do with it. This is perfect." I was sobbing now. Mama wrapped her arms around me. "We're so proud of you, baby. Look at what you've built. Look at the lives you're changing." Liam joined the hug, then Dad. We stood there, 4 people bound by love and purpose, building something that would outlast all of us. It's been 5 years since that November night. 5 years since Sharon humiliated my husband at a corporate gala and inadvertently set our lives on a completely different path. 5 years since I learned that the man I married owned a multi-million-dollar empire. So where are we now? The Hayes Foundation has grown beyond anything I imagined. We've helped over 2,000 small businesses across 7 states, provided full scholarships to 100 students, built financial literacy programs in 60 community centers, employed 93 people, changed countless lives. Sharon runs our Leadership Empathy program. It's been featured in Forbes and the Harvard Business Review. Companies across the country are adopting it. She's become one of my closest colleagues. Proof that people can change, that second chances matter. Iris is now our Chief Operating Officer. She bought a house last year. Her kids are thriving. She's living proof of what's possible when someone gets real support. The young woman whose sister got our catering grant, she works for us now, running our small business development program. That's the thing about investing in people. It multiplies. One success creates another, and another, and another. Liam and I are stronger than ever. We've learned how to be partners, real partners. Not perfect. We still argue about whose turn it is to do dishes, still disagree about whether we need another bookshelf, but we've built something real. Something based on trust and honesty and showing up for each other every single day. We're talking about kids now, maybe next year. The thought terrifies me. It also fills me with joy. My consulting firm is still operating, smaller now, more focused. I have 3 employees running it while I focus on the foundation. I still pay my portion of household expenses. Liam still rolls his eyes about it. It's our normal. Last month, we went back to the community center where we met. They were celebrating their 30th anniversary. The room was full of people whose lives had been changed by those programs. "Want to know a secret?" Liam whispered as we watched the celebration. "What?" "I was scared to death the first time I walked into that building." "Of what?" "Of being seen, really seen, not as the CEO or the heir or the guy with money, just as me. And then you saw me exactly as I was, and you didn't look away." I squeezed his hand. "We're planning another gala next month, bigger this time, more ambitious. We want to raise $50 million to expand the scholarship fund nationwide. The invitations went out last week. One went to a woman in Columbus, Ohio, a stranger who sent us an email about starting a similar foundation in her city. One went to a teacher in Detroit who nominated 20 of his students for scholarships. One went to Gregory, Sharon's ex-husband, because he reached out last year, apologized for his role in everything, asked how he could help. He's now one of our major donors. People change. Situations evolve. What seems like the end is often just the beginning. So let me ask you something. You've been with me through this entire journey, from that terrible moment at the Maxwell Gala to this moment right now. What part of this story hit you the hardest? Was it Sharon's transformation? The foundation's growth? Liam's revelation? The scholarship fund? Drop a comment and tell me. Where are you watching from? Your city, your state, your country? I want to know. Let's see how far this story has traveled. Build this community with me. Do you know someone who's been made to feel small because of their job, their income, their circumstances? Someone who's working 3 jobs and barely making it? Someone who deserves a real chance? Share this video with them right now, because maybe my story will be the thing that reminds them they're not alone. And if you're that person, if you're the one who needs to hear this, listen closely. Your worth is not determined by your paycheck. Your value is not measured by your job title. You are not the sum of your mistakes or your circumstances. You are worthy of respect, of dignity, of real chances to build something beautiful. I started with nothing but determination and a belief that I could make a difference. You can too. Hit that subscribe button if this story meant something to you. Like this video if it moved you. Comment and tell me your thoughts, your story, your dreams. We're building something here, a community of people who believe in second chances, in hard work, in the power of one person deciding to change their corner of the world. Join us. This is Tasha Washington Hayes, reminding you, you don't need a lottery win. You don't need to marry money. You don't even need someone to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself. The rest will follow. Now go out there and build something beautiful.